I would like to express my grief and empathy to the families of the people who died in the stampede at the Kumbh Mela. These people trusted the union government and the state government and gathered there, hoping that you will protect them. But unfortunately, no one protected them. When religion and politics merge, it is the innocent people who suffer, and this is an example of that. And sadly, I don't know whether we're waiting for the elections. We don't even know the numbers of the people who've died in the stampede. Isn't this not inhuman? And you don't even want to allow a discussion in Parliament. Sir, the President of India ended her speech saying our Bharat is a country of 140 crore people and we have diverse states, diverse regions and diverse languages. I'm happy that the President of India still believes in the diverseness of this great nation. India is a country with almost 8 major religions, more than 100 ethnic groups, 700 tribes and 121 languages. As a nation, we have always celebrated this diversity and our unity is deeply rooted in this diversity. But the government today has chosen the politics of forced cultural assimilation and cultural elimination. The President started her speech mentioning the 75th anniversary of adoption of our Constitution. She expressed great pride in the achievements during Amrit Kal. And also, in her speech in this very house, she mentioned that we recently celebrated our 75th anniversary of Indian Republic. But none of us in this house can forget that just 2 years ago, in this very same house, in the first session, a Muslim member of Parliament faced derogatory communal remarks by a colleague from the ruling party on the very first session. It was a dark day, a day of dark, abysmal despair to our nation. They have divided society into us and them. And I must remind this august house that it will take ages to repair this divide. Just look around. We will find a decreasing number of Muslim members in Parliament, a decreasing number of officials, bureaucrats from the SC, ST, OBC and minority communities. The President glorified India's civilizational nationalism, a phrase increasingly used to justify a monolithic culture. India is a living, breathing entity that has been enriched by centuries of interactions from across the world, creating a vibrant cultural tapestry. When you talk about Indian history, you started 3,500 years ago with the Vedic age. But today, we know that the Iron Age in India has been traced back to 5,345 years ago. Our Chief Minister, M.K. Stalin, has proudly proclaimed to the world and based on scientific evidence validated by international labs like Beta Analytics in Florida, that Shivakalai, a small, sleepy village in Thoothukudi district, today holds within it the proof of iron smelting and usage. This is the oldest finding in India till today.
Where the MP comes from?
The union government till today has not even commented about this finding, which is very important internationally. When you exclude this truth, you just not only exclude us, but you are excluding yourselves from the great legacy of Dravidian civilization. The proponents of Hindutva ideology have this question: who is an Indian and who is not? V.D. Savarkar came up with an answer many years ago. A loyal Indian is one who is attached to the geography of India, who is born in India and whose religion has indigenous roots. A Hindu means a person who regards this land from the Indus to the seas as his fatherland and as well as his holy land. But let me remind this House of the words of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, a Congress leader who you seem to have taken over and invoke frequently. In 1947, when it was suggested to him that India should be declared as a Hindu state, Sardar Patel replied, "We must not forget that there are, quote, that there are other minorities whose protection is our primary responsibility." In 1950, he stated, "Ours is a secular state." I like to underline, he said that ours is a secular state, and we cannot fashion our politics in the way of Pakistan is doing. Here, every Muslim should feel that he is an Indian citizen and has equal rights as an Indian. The government celebrates Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. It disregards most of his fundamental principles. If you truly respect him, please protect every citizen, honor every culture, and stop selective imposition of one ideology over the rest. Building a 3,000 crore statue of unity is not paying respect to him. Please understand his words and implement it. That is true tribute to any leader. But this government ensures in every possible way that the minorities of this country do not feel comfortable. They are kept on edge and feel like outsiders. The CAA, Triple Talaq, the Work Board Bill, the Uniform Civil Code, mob lynching and state excesses are the unending examples of how you push the minorities and make them feel threatened. In August 2019, this government revoked the autonomy of Kashmir, the only Muslim majority state in India, and made it a union territory. Around the same time, you passed a new amendment to the anti-terror law. This amendment ensured and gave you the right to classify individuals as terrorists and promoters of terrorism. And under this law, hundreds of Kashmiri politicians, activists were jailed, civil liberties were suspended, and protests banned. A few months later, the CAA, this provided a fast track to citizenship for many minority communities. The law specified that communities which could use this law were Buddhists, Christians, Hindus, Jains, Parsis, and Sikhs. These communities made it to the list, but the Muslims were omitted despite their presence in countries where they are minorities and have been persecuted and have even suffered violent attacks. And in many of the BJP-ruled states, you've coined a term, love jihad, where adult men and women are not allowed to get married to each other because they belong to different religious groups. And your reasoning is that Hindus will become a minority in this country. India has 14% Muslim population and almost 80% Hindu population. Creating false narratives like this is your way of politics. But at least let people, individuals who have a right to make a personal choice in their private lives, let them live a life. And we've seen in most of the BJP-ruled states, mobs assault minorities while the police stand idle. I can't even say mobs assault them, because in some states, the authorities themselves bulldoze Muslim homes and businesses. And lynchings cannot become widespread without atmosphere of impunity which you are ready to give. Attack on civil society groups are surging. Any voice of dissent is called anti-national. In November 2021, the National Security Advisor, Ajit Doval, told the graduating class of the National Police Academy in Hyderabad